Hello and welcome to Community Notes with Topham. I am your host Topham, and my guest this week is ImACreep from the Roosterteeth community, or Abby. Hey Abby, how's it going?
Good.
Cool. Right, let's jump straight into the show. Can you talk about a song that you have free choice over, one that you just enjoy listening to? I suppose.
Okay, one of the three random ones.
Yes.
Correct. Hang on. I forgot which ones I chose
Oh
at this point.
no.
Oh no. Okay. I guess we'll do Fight as One by Bad City.
Okay, cool.
I chose that one because I am an avid comic book fan. I have a collection of like 101 comics. I like to stay at that number because it reminds me of 101 Dalmatians. And Fight as One is the theme song for the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes cartoon, which is like the third best superhero cartoon. But I really love the song, so.
Okay, so what is it about the song that you love? Is it the lyrical content, music altogether? How does it
Yeah, it's
work?
just it's really cute. Like the pre-chorus is like Avengers Assemble, and I think it's adorable, and it's like really rock and roll, and it fits the show so well. I don't know. I'm just attached to it.
Fair enough. So the band, do you listen to any of their other music, or is it the fact that this is a theme song from one of your favorite cartoons?
I've been trying to get into them, but I have Riot Fest this weekend, so I have a bunch of other bands to catch up with that I'm going to be seeing this weekend before I can like start finding like getting into new ones. So I haven't really listened to their stuff yet, but I'm planning to.
Cool. So what festival is it you're going to, and which bands are you looking forward to seeing?
It's Riot Fest. It's a 3-day festival in Chicago, and a lot of the bands I've seen before, but I'm excited to see again. There's a lot of old punk bands like NoFX and The Descendants, as well as I'm excited to see Weezer and a couple of metal bands I've never seen before, like Mastodon and Primus.
Mastodon are absolutely incredible live.
I know, I'm
They just
excited.
play so damn well. NoFX are an absolutely awesome live show as well. They played at Download, and who was it? It was Cancer Bats. They weren't allowed on the stage at their allotted time because the fields were swamped, and so like they were asking other bands if they could get up on stage and play. And NoFX were like, "Hey guys, you want to play and everything," and they started walking onto stage, and it's like, "We're not going to let you," and it was like, "Oh god," the whole crowd was just like, "Boo!" And they were like, you want to hear more of our music first. It's like, God. But yeah, it was an awesome show seeing NoFX, and do you get a chance to see much live music?
Yeah, I go to a lot of festivals and whatnot.
Cool. So I guess in Chicago is where you are, and that there's a very busy live music scene. I'd assume.
Yeah. Chicago's a big music city. I've only been here for like a couple of weeks though, going on a month.
All right. Cool. Let's move on to a track you find motivational. What is it, and how and why does it motivate you?
Motivational is Bleed American by Jimmy Eat World. This is a really, really super duper upbeat song. And it's like, I don't know, it just like, it feels like America to me. It's like, it's about like, it's like it talks about like, like taking pills and stuff like that. I just feel like it's like the American mindset, and it kind of, I don't know, it makes me want to like go punch things. I don't know.
Okay. So, what do you do with the motivation that you get from that song? If you understand what I'm trying to say.
Well, I don't punch things, but I don't know. I use it when I need to get like hyped about something. Like, it's good for if I want to go like exercise, which I don't do that often, but it's also good. I don't know. It's just whenever I need picking up, I listen to that one.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's a good motivating song. Actually, Jimmy Eat World have popped up before. So yes, I think that was someone else's motivational song. They love to like pick up guitar and like play the whole way through one of their other songs. But yeah, very, very motivating band I think I've found so far. But yeah, so I know that I found you through the RT Musicians and Friends group on the Roosterteeth site.
Yep.
Can you tell us a bit about the group and what kind of things you're looking to do with the group?
Well, I started off like I saw a bunch of like I was following Zeldathon and stuff like that, and I saw all these people in Rooster Teeth who run these really successful groups, and I'm like, well, I mean, I need to join more groups anyway. I've never really been active in a group, and I kept looking for a musician group, and they're just like there was a couple from like 7 years ago, but none active, and I thought like why not? Like I know there's musicians on here, and actually like as soon as I made the group, like the third person to join was Jeff Williams,
Yep.
the dude who does the Ruby music and some Red vs. Blue music, which was like super intense for me. I was just like fangirling everywhere. I'm like, oh my god, cast and crew joined my group. But I don't know. I wanted a place for people to talk about music stuff because like I don't know. There's not that many people I hang out with to talk about music stuff that really know what they're talking about anyway. And I don't know, I just wanted to be a place for people to find like, you know, collaborations to do and whatnot. And we're actually getting ready to do a really big contest. Me and the admin I picked.
Mm-hmm.
So
He was my guest last week, or no, 2 weeks ago. I can't remember. It was a while ago, but yeah. He's awesome to chat to as well. Like,
yeah, I decided to add another admin at 50 because it was just like getting to be too much for me to post in every thread all the time. Mm-hmm. And like I asked people to send me a message, and Brandon literally sent me like I think it was like a 6-paragraph like legitimate resume.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For it. And it was kind of ridiculous. I'm like, how can I not pick this guy now?
Yeah, definitely. He was great to chat to as well. Like he's so full of ideas, and he's very, very good musician as well. So yeah, very, very interesting person to talk to. Anyway, let's move on and talk about another piece of music that you have chosen. Why have you chosen one of the ones that you've had free choice over?
Well, here we'll do the one from Les Miserables. It's A Little Fall of Rain. It's the song where spoiler alert, it's the song where Eponine dies.
She's like my favorite character as well. I'm like, no. I was like, I couldn't believe you chose that song as well. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh,
interesting.
Because like the thing is, when in the production, I played violin for production of this show, and in that production, the girl who played Eponine had this voice, and I just could not stand it. Like it was very like nasally, but like not in like a pleasant way, and somehow I still cried every single time we played A Little Fall of Rain. And I have no idea why.
So it's such like at that point of the
yeah, everyone's just like
oh god, no, why?
Just like everything sucks.
Yeah.
Everyone will die.
Yeah, it's a very powerful piece of music.
And the dude that played Marius in our production was like, he was spot on. He was fantastic.
Cool. So, is obviously that's probably your favorite track from the Les Mis.
Yeah.
How do you call it? Is it a soundtrack? It's hard to define because it is. It
it's a soundtrack if you're talking about like the movie version.
Yeah.
Because a soundtrack is more of a media thing.
Yeah.
It's just like a set list basically.
Okay. Fair enough. It's one of those things that I just couldn't figure out the right terminology. I'm like, oh god, what is it? But yeah.
Yeah.
So you said you play violin. Is that the only instrument you play?
No, I play 7-ish instruments, but violin is my primary.
Okay, cool. So how did you pick up the violin to start with?
Well, I started playing music for my school in 5th grade on the clarinet, and I played that for 2 years. Then I switched schools, and the school I was at where I played clarinet did not offer an orchestra class, so I just played clarinet because it was like the only other option. But when I moved, I had the option to, so I switched to violin, and I've been playing ever since. That was in 7th grade. So it's been 7 years.
Okay. So w- I guess why did you pick the violin? Were you just like,
Oh,
oh, I like how it sounds, or was
actually,
it like,
sometimes I hate how it sounds, but I have very, very tiny hands.
mm-hmm.
And, like, I wanted to play cello, but, like, the hand cramps were terrible. Like, cello's one of the instruments I can play, but I don't do it in groups, mostly for the reason that I can't get around efficiently. Same thing with viola and bass.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, I have a violin, and I'm not very good at playing it. It might be that it doesn't suit me particularly well, but I've always liked the sound of violins. But it's clear that the sound of violins, that they sound good because of the people playing them, not necessarily because you can
Hold it.
hold it. Yeah, basically, like I can pick it up and I can make noises with it, but I wouldn't call most of what I do when I try to practice and play music actually playing music, because it's not the most wieldy instrument.
That's the hard thing, is getting past, like, the suckiness. And, like, I, as a first violin in most of the groups I've been in, have to go so freaking high on the instrument sometimes. It's ridiculous. Like, I don't understand why that sounds good. But, like, when like, I'm playing it, it sounds like crap. It sounds out of tune, it sounds terrible. But in the group, it always sounds okay. It's weird like that.
Fair enough. So have you had... it sounds like you've had many opportunities to work in groups when you play things like this. I assume... Well, I know that when you play violin, you don't really... not necessarily you wouldn't set out to play violin solo. That'd be kind of... I don't want to say redundant, because that's not probably the right word to use, but solo violin really is a weird beast.
Yeah, it's meant to be played in, like, you never play solo violin unless it's only for a couple of measures. Like, you have an accompaniment even if you're playing just, like, as the only violin. But yeah, I've done a few solos here and there, but I'm just not that good at it. I get too nervous.
Fair enough. I went and saw, I can't remember his name, and I've forgotten, and he played a violin concerto, and I can't remember which one as well, which is really, really frustrating.
I don't remember who has all the concertos for violin.
But it's frustrating me that I can't remember, but I'm sure it'll come back to me. Let's move on to the next track that you find inspirational.
Okay. This one I'm excited about because it's been, like, I've been super obsessed with it lately. I'm actually getting lyrics from it tattooed on myself in, I don't know, maybe a few months, because I just got a tattoo. I don't have that much money. It's called Early Sunsets Over Monroeville by My Chemical Romance. It's off of their lesser-known first album.
What's the name of the first album?
I Bought You Bullets, You Brought Me Your Love.
Yeah.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that sounds right. One. It's been a long time since I've heard that album as well. Like,
I just call it Bullets, so I kind of forgot the words in between.
Yeah, totally understand that. So what is it? What is it about the song that inspires you?
It's very much like, I grew up on, like, old-fashioned punk, which is, like, recorded in people's basements with, like, zero production quality. And this is kind of how that album was made. It was made in someone's basement. They had to stop recording when the dude's mom wanted to vacuum. And it's just, like, it's very raw, and it's very emotional, and it's very unproduced. It sounds like you're listening to them play in someone's garage half the time.
Right.
Yeah. I just love the raw quality to it. It's very organic.
Yeah, I mean, production can have a huge effect on an album, and there are some that massively benefit from it. Actually, I heard an album that recently came out this year. The production absolutely ruined it for me, because it was overproduced, and then there wasn't enough space for all the instruments, and it just made me
it
just horrendously frustrated, I guess.
That's why some, like, songs you notice, like, you like better acoustically, because the original versions are just too much.
Yeah. So My Chemical Romance, are you a big fan of My Chemical Romance?
Yeah.
Assume so.
I was supposed to see them a few months before they broke up, and my mom's like, let's just go next time they're around. They're not gonna break up anytime soon.
Oh, that must be just a huge... That must be so frustrating.
I still hold that against her. Mom's like, you don't need to go to that. I'm like, that's what you said about My Chemical Romance, Mom. You see what happened there?
Fair enough. Fair enough. So we'll take a few steps back, I guess. You said that Jeff Williams joined the musician group you started. Do
Yep.
you? I assume that you enjoy a lot of the music that he puts out for RVB originally and now Ruby, I guess. Entirely.
Yeah, I prefer the Ruby music to what he does for RVB. But yeah, I love his work. That's why I was so excited. And like, we actually, like, every once in a while he'll like comment on something of mine, or I'll comment on something of his. It's really, it makes me fangirl every time.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, he's very, very good at the compositions that he has. It's so excellent. I hope to get him to guest on here at some point. But I'm just like, freaking out about trying to ask him to do that. But that'd be wonderful.
Well, he's a very approachable dude. I'm sure he would at least give you a response.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I'm just like, yes, I'll give that a go. Yeah, things with that are pretty cool. So let's move on to the final track that you've chosen. What is it, and I guess what does it mean to you?
Okay, the last one is Bleachless by a girl named Elizabeth Grace. She recently got really popular on YouTube and released her first EP. Not many people know about her. Mm-hmm. She got really popular doing like covers of songs, and this is like her first original, like, well, I mean, she's had original songs, but her first like studio produced stuff. And I just really like, she's got this voice, and it's weird for a girl to have such a unique voice, because a lot of girl singers sound alike. And the song is just like, it's very, I say this a lot, but it's organic. It's very like flow of consciousness kind of thing. It's about like, you know, just having a bad time and wanting things to get better, really.
Fair enough. So, yeah, it's I did give it a quick listen. It's excellent to listen to. I highly recommend anyone that's listening to go and check it out. Let's step away from that music specifically. In a minute we'll get on to the final questions, but for now, I'm just curious. I want to know what are you studying at the moment?
I am studying graphic design with a minor in music and possibly a minor in art. I'm not sure on that one yet.
Oh, okay.
You can double minor here.
Okay. So, yeah, I guess I was just curious. Have you got any? Oh, this is another question I want to ask actually. Do you typically write your own music, or do you learn pieces that already exist?
It depends on what I'm doing it for. I used to be in a band, and I would write stuff for that, obviously, because you can't plagiarize stuff. And, like, for anything else, like, you know, orchestra stuff, obviously, it's all covers. That's why, like, I like to make the joke that any school band is automatically a cover band. Because I don't know. It's entertaining to think about.
Yeah.
That's what you are. You're doing covers of songs that you didn't write. You're a cover band.
Yeah, I suppose. So I found it now. I remembered who I saw. I saw Nigel Kennedy perform. And he performed, if I get this right, I can't remember what violin concerto he performed. I think it was, no, I'm not sure which violin concerto it was. But yeah, I saw Nigel Kennedy perform, and he's got this weird personality. I don't know.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with who he is?
I've probably heard the name before. I don't think I've ever actually listened to anything he plays.
Okay. Yeah, he's a very, very good violinist. I was just like, oh wow, spellbound by how he was playing, and yeah, it was just, I thought it was incredible. But yeah, that's...
There was a violinist that came and played for my high school once. I can't remember her name. It was a very complicated name. She was this tiny little Asian girl, and she had a $3 million Stradivarius violin. She just put like right in front of her face. It was like, hey, look at it. I almost took that thing and ran. For those who aren't familiar with Stradivarius, it's the most famous, like, violin maker on Earth. Most violins are copies of his design. So an original Stradivarius, which they're becoming less and less common, can get up to like several $1 million in value.
Yeah, they're all incredibly expensive. But yeah, you just see these people play them and just like, oh my god. It's like, oh god, I wish I had something like that. But clearly you need to have the skills to be able to play it, because you don't own them. There's a central place that lets you have it for like lifetime loans for the most famous and most respected people.
This woman got it because she won this really, really, really like prestigious contest, and until someone defeats her, she gets to keep that violin.
Mm-hmm. Right, let's move on to the final questions I've got. These are somewhat related to the songs that you've chosen already. If you could have any superpower, which superpower would you have, and which of your songs would be your theme song?
Well, that's convenient. Well, I'd like to think telekinesis, because I don't know, like, I've gone through the scenario bunches and bunches of times, obviously, being as in the comic books I am.
Yep.
I just feel like telekinesis has the best all-around, like, usage, and, like, even if it was a form of telekinesis that was, like, I'm trying to think of an example. Like Raven from Teen Titans, where it's kind of just like she can make things out of nothing. That's still a form of telekinesis because she's controlling the matter in the air. I don't know. It's just, I think it would be the best. I don't know, because like I wouldn't like to fly, because flying alone would not be very useful.
Yeah, it'd be pretty
crime fighting anyway. Maybe for like day-to-day life, but like I want to fight crime.
Fair enough. Which of the songs would be your theme song?
Fight as one, of course.
Yes.
But that would only really work if I was in a group, because the song's about being in a group of superheroes. So I guess I would have to join the Avengers.
Oh,
I'm
what a shame!
What a shame!
Crazy. So let's move on to the next question, which is: if you could only listen to one of these songs for the rest of time, which one would it be?
I wish I could pick a different one. I guess it would be Early Sunsets from Monroeville. Okay.
Yeah, no, I thought that would be the one that you would choose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a. I'm not gonna give my opinions on the piece of music because I'm not a fan of My Chemical Romance, but it's very good for what they do. But yeah. I'm not gonna get into it. Let's step away from there. So and the final question I have is not related to the pieces of music that you've chosen. It might be, depending on how things are, but what is your favorite album of the moment?
Can it be like a soundtrack?
Yeah, that's perfectly okay.
Okay, it's the Star Trek Into Darkness soundtrack.
Okay.
I've been listening to it all day, and the day before that.
Okay. What about it is it that you enjoy?
I don't know. I think it's because I've been playing violin so long. Like, nothing makes me, like, more emotional and, like, just, like, gets stuck in my head more than orchestral music.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, all these other songs I picked that are, like, lyrical songs, like, I mean, they get stuck in my head, too, and they make me feel feelings. But orchestra music is just, like, on a whole nother level for me. And that soundtrack is, like, so, like, roller coaster up and down. Like, anger, sad, excitement, sad. I don't know. I love it. I love the melody, like the recurring melody, and I love, because I watched the original series of Star Trek, that every once in a while they'll throw in a bit of the original theme. I cannot get it out of my head right now. It's like playing in my mind right now, because I talked about it.
Fair enough. Well, with that, I will give you the opportunity to promote yourself, promote where we can find you, I guess, on the Roosterteeth site and anywhere else you have social media kind of things. Try and keep it away from Facebook, because that's not what we're about. But go ahead.
Out here. Well, basically everything I do, I will post a link to on my Roosterteeth account. So that's probably the best place to find me, which is ImACreep, like the Radiohead lyric.
I was actually going to comment on that. And I've completely
you thought
forgot.
I was going to pick that as a song, but I didn't.
I was like, oh god, because your sponsor tags "I'm a weirdo," which is the next line. I'm just like, oh god, I completely forgot. I wanted to ask about that. But, yeah. Let's ask it now. Why not? It's my show, my rules. Why did you choose that?
Well, I had this really long username I used for like everything ever.
Mm-hmm.
It was Uniform Insanity,
mm-hmm.
which I liked because I like juxtapositions. And it would not fit on the site. You can only have like 12 characters, I think is the limit. And I was like, hell, what am I going to do? And I was just thinking about like, what is a word that describes me as a person? And I came up with creepy, and I'm like, well, I can't just call myself creepy. That'd be weird. So I decided to like make it a reference because I do love that song. I don't really listen to anything else Radiohead, but I love that song. So I decided to just go with that song, and then when I upgraded to a sponsor, I figured like I didn't want to just say sponsor, and I couldn't think of anything else, so I thought it'd be cool if I did the next line.
Cool. Right, let's wrap it up there. Thank you very much, Abby, for being my guest. Yeah. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Bye.